Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be looking at how the portrayal of Chinese characters in film has influenced public perception. For purposes of this essay, Chinese will be defined as someone native to or inhabiting China or a person of Chinese descent. This includes people from mainland China, Hong Kong, Macau, Chinese Singaporeans, Chinese Malaysians, and overseas Chinese and their children. We know that movies have had a significant impact on shaping and reinforcing individuals' beliefs and perceptions about different cultures, as a recent study claims. My initial research looked into popular films and previous essays on the subject. From this, 6 main stereotypes were found. The martial artist. Skilled, disciplined warriors with a deep connection to ancient traditions. We can see this in popular films like Mulan, Kung Fu Panda, and Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. The foreigner, an outsider who's often exoticized or misunderstood. On this, Guy Aoki says, Asian actors are usually asked to put on a fake Asian accent to play a role, and so that keeps the notion of Asians as foreigners going. This stereotype also relates to the exotic other, an alluring figure from a distant and exotic land. This can be seen in Anime Wong's characters, where she plays a China doll for the white man to redeem. The submissive sidekick, serving as loyal followers or supportive companions to the main protagonist. A great example of this in Hollywood is in the buddy cop film Rush Hour. The geek or nerd, highly intelligent but socially awkward individuals. This goes in turn with the model minority, overachieving, hardworking, obedient. While this may seem like a positive stereotype, it implies that Chinese people have a natural advantage over other races. It suggests that ethnic barriers can be overcome with a good enough work ethic, and it dismisses struggles as being lazy. When these stereotypes are used excessively in films, the problem is that what people get from watching these films is that white is good, Asian is bad, says Guy Aoki, the founding president of the Media Action Network for Asian Americans. Having found these stereotypes, I decided to survey the public to find out whether they believed in these stereotypes. These consisted of friends, family, and co-workers, which may have added bias to my data. However, I picked them because I knew they were reliable and would take my research seriously. There was a survey beforehand to judge what their preconceptions were about Chinese portrayal in films. Then they were shown 3 short clips from films, and then resurveyed to see how watching the films influenced their answers. They initially seemed to think that Chinese characters were stereotypical to market towards a white audience, and that films were improving and moving away from the martial artist and towards the model minority stereotype. As expected, they overall felt that Chinese characters were more stereotypical after viewing the scenes. They saw the characters as oppressed, two-dimensional, and infantilized. Responders suggested improvements for future movies, such as having Chinese directors, doing proper cultural research, and providing more diverse roles. This survey overall had a positive impact by spreading awareness of the harmful stereotypes behind Chinese characters in movies. To quote them, I hadn't thought about this before, but now your questions have got me thinking that there's not actually a lot out there for Chinese actors role-wise when there definitely should be. I really learnt a bit throughout the survey. I didn't realise how bad it was until I was paying attention. The stereotype is a lot worse than I thought. I was shocked by how they treated the Chinese characters in the stereotypes. It was a good thing to think about. I hadn't really thought about it before, and I guess that this problem is present for many minorities across the globe. Your questions got me thinking. Thank you for involving me in this meaningful project. It's been so helpful for me to understand my own experience. Responders suggested I consider other media such as TV shows, video games, and books in a future project. They also wanted me to specify what was considered a Chinese person and to allow space for elaboration on their responses. But how do Chinese celebrities in the industry feel? I read through their interviews with actors regarding their portrayal and sought feedback from an old friend who was looking at going into the film industry. Jackie Chan tried 3 times to be cast in American movies, and he was rejected twice despite playing the stereotypical martial artist role. His eventual break into Hollywood was not from the film industry learning to respect Chinese actors, but instead resulted from his friendship with Sylvester Stallone. James Hong remembers being cast in stereotypical roles that villainize Chinese people. He remembers starring in Kung Fu Panda 4, which embraced cliches. He thinks that Everything Everywhere All at Once was a turning point towards progress and recognition. Simu Liu recalls being ecstatic when he was just a stunt guy to be beaten up by the white heroes. His role as Shang-Chi, portraying an Asian superhero, is something he's always wanted and hopes will inspire young Asian Americans. Hayden Setsu played Erwin in The Edge of 17 like a normal dude, and by playing a 3-dimensional Asian character as a white girl's love interest, it normalizes the positive portrayal of Chinese people in the film industry. Sarah Hsu has felt empowered refilming Oscar-winning Whiplash with her as Nicole, a role originally written for a white woman. Hsu commented that Asian actors often don't have the opportunity to play the main romantic interest. She found this experience liberating and that encouraged the diversity and normalization of Asian actors in main roles that portray them just like a character of any other race. But how does the Chinese government's censorship policies affect the portrayal of China? We know that the Chinese box office can make companies millions of dollars and that the government controls what films are allowed into China. They can officially only let 34 foreign films into Chinese cinemas every year, which means that companies need to consider and market towards the Chinese government, whether it be rewriting scripts or casting specific actors. This allows the government to have power over how China is depicted to both Western audiences and to their own people. We can see this impact in movies such as Doctor Strange, where in the original comics the Ancient One was Tibetan. However, China refuses to acknowledge that Tibet as an independent nation, and hence they will change to be Celtic. Although the film Everything Everywhere All at Once made Oscar history last year with 7 awards and has been praised for its positive representation and celebration of Chinese culture, it has been banned in China. This loss of the Chinese box office, a profitable market, may discourage future directors from making similar films with fleshed out roles for Chinese actors. Both the public and actors in the industry agree that it's important that there are more films made like this, with Chinese people in main creative roles, proper research done into their culture, and breaking of stereotypes. To help support the positive portrayal of Chinese characters, I encourage you to support both local and big screen film projects with authentic representation. You can share this video and other information and resources to raise awareness and begin having conversations with friends and family. If you're in Australia, I've got a few events on screen now that you can support. If you're in the Asian Australian film industry, there's the Asian Australian Alliance which you can join to help support you. So, what have I learnt through my research? In summary, the film industry has portrayed Chinese characters in excessively stereotyped roles. These negative tropes have had an impact on how the public views China and Chinese people, with most respondents suggesting that the model minority stereotype is widely prevalent in modern film. Whilst directors and actors alike are working towards positive portrayal and progress has been made, it is still nowhere near perfect. By spreading awareness, I hope to improve the representation of Chinese characters in film and reduce the public's belief in these harmful stereotypes. That's all for now. I hope you learned something today. I'd like to thank everyone who helped contribute to this project, whether it be by filling out my survey or giving feedback. I really appreciate you guys. You mean the world to me. Hasta luego.